Hey guys, insight number 2. So this is Doctrine and Covenants 1, verses 4 to 6 and 23 to 24. There's more in here that talks about chosen servants. I just picked these to just really highlight it. So verse 4 talks of chosen servants to declare the Lord's words in these days. Who are these servants? Let's have a read. Verse 4 it says, "And the voice of warning shall be unto all people by the mouths of my disciples, whom I have chosen in these latter days," in these last days. My disciples. Well, you could say that's the quorum of the 12, but most certainly all the disciples would be all of us. Every member missionary. Very much true. Who are these servants? That's everyone. Everyone, if you know about church, it's your job to talk about church and encourage other people that church is a good thing and what they can get out of it. Verse 5, "And they shall go forth, and none that shall stay them, for I the Lord have commanded them." So you're not going to be hold, but you're going to be excited about it. You think of our young missionaries going out, they're just excited about it. It's so awesome to see them do that. And not all of them, I'm going to say not all of them, but 99.999% of them are just excited to be out there. And if they have to come home for whatever reason, whether it's sickness, illness, or a family situation, or a political situation, or a COVID situation, if they seem to still have that light in them, just eager to share the gospel, and they can do that from wherever they are. So it's good to remember as well. Now verse 6 says, "Behold, this is mine authority and the authority of my servant, and I preface unto the book of my commandments, which I have given them to publish unto you, O inhabitants of the earth." So I've told them it's going to be a book, and they wanted a preface because Joseph Smith tried to write one, and he's like, this is just no, not good. This needs to come from the Lord. So he had a prayer, and as he was having the prayer, he was giving the answer sentence by sentence, and they were writing this down. They go over the sentence, yes, that's the sentence. So it would have been quite a methodical process, probably quite a longer prayer if it's done like that, writing it down, but they wanted to get it right. So why is it important? How does the Lord talk to us? Through the Holy Ghost, through our prophets, right? And to us through the Holy Ghost, through other people, through our prophets, many ways that the Lord talks to us. Why is it important that we hear Him? That we actually hear Christ? Why is it important to hear Him? I think it's important to hear Him and knowing that, for one, we're living His gospel. And if we weren't living His gospel, we wouldn't be answerable to Him. So that helps. I think hear Him personally lets me know that the things and the answers that I need in my life and what I need to do for me are clear for me. They might not apply to anybody else, just me. And I'm not saying I'm special, because there's stuff that applies to each individual one of us that's just for you. We all have that ability to have that just for me thing. And how do you feel about different prophets' voices? Because we've just been studying the Book of Mormon, they have some amazing prophets. Some of their voices are incredible. We want to hear that. But we're going to love some of them more than we do others. We're going to resonate more at different times with them than we are with others. As far as latter-day prophets go, we need to look at the most recent ones, because that's the one that's speaking for our day and time right now. Now, there's nothing wrong with going back and studying the words of the prophets from this dispensation. There's some great wisdom in there, but they were talking about the people of their dispensation of that time. I know still I have people in my class at church, and I love my class, but they still bring up, President Kimball said, and I'm like, yeah, that's really lovely. What did President Nelson say? Because it's yes, all respect to President Kimball. He was a prophet, a seer, a revelator, a divine man, and he wrote a particular book that I'm not going to mention because I'm not giving it more notoriety. Now, he wrote that not as a prophet, he wrote that in his opinion as a wise man and a priesthood holder. It's different. So there's some things in there that aren't gospel, and it's just his opinion, but people took it as gospel because he was a prophet. You can't do that. I've read President Eyring's books, Elder Holland's books, President Holland's books, and there's things he says there that, yes, they're true, but it's not the Lord's gospel. It's definitely gospel-minded, but it is wisdom from President Holland, and it's good wisdom, and I would highly recommend these books. But, sort of 20, 30 years from now, there's going to be different prophets giving advice for our day and time. And those are the ones we need to listen to the most, the ones that are currently sitting in those seats at conference. Out of the Come Follow Me manual, it says here, you might be interested to know that when a council of elders met in 1831 to talk about publishing Joseph Smith's Revelations, some people opposed the idea. They were embarrassed by Joseph's weakness in writing, and they worried that publishing the Revelations might cause more problems for the saints. If you had been a member of this council, how would you have addressed these concerns? What insights do you find in section 1 that might have helped? I think, for me, the fact that this all comes from Jesus Christ and he puts it in simple words, thank goodness, so we can all understand it. We do not need some university degree or 10,000 years at school. If a farm boy can write the account of this happening, I'm not talking the Book of Mormon, people are going to go, oh, you just did it. No. He translated the Book of Mormon. But he writes his own account, and it's full of spelling errors, and it's grammatically incorrect, and a whole lot of things. But you know what? We know what he's talking about. We know exactly what he's talking about. When he uses things and he doesn't have the word for it, and he uses other words to describe it, like when he's talking about trying to put something down and he doesn't have the word, and he said it's such a narrow little prison that I'm stuck in of verbal language and written language. And I think we've all felt that when we've been trying to express how we feel. There's just not words. So I think I really love that. I feel different about the prophets' voices, and I love that Joseph didn't have a weakness in speaking, much like Moroni didn't and Mormon didn't. They think they did. But actually, makes it very easy for us to understand, and I'm very grateful that they were good speakers. I'm sure they were, but that their writing was a little less than they thought it should be. Because to us, it's pretty on point, right? So think about that. But how would you address these concerns sitting in that council? What would you have said? I would have definitely been on Joseph's side and brought up those points around what? Because he was still translating Book of Mormon, I think, at this point. I really don't know. I don't know church history that well. I know what's in it and what it applies to us. I don't go into depth on the history part. Sometimes I'm interested, but if you've been a member and you'd address these concerns, and what do you find in section 1 that might have helped? The fact that the Lord's work is here, and he chose Joseph to do this. Currently, the Lord's work is here, and he chose a man called Russell to do this. And Russell might be in his 101st year, and you might think, he's out of touch with the world, and I can tell you, boy, he is not. He is smart, and he is with us. And yeah, he might walk a bit more like I do, and I'm not even 50 yet. But he's got this, and I love that. And I love that the next man we already know is going to be President Oaks, and he is still sharp in the mind as well. These brethren, I hear out of Holland's Christmas message, he was shaken. His physical body is going, but his mind, spot on, beautiful, perfectly said. And it's how I know that the Lord is talking through his chosen servants. And if it might sound not the fanciest words, whatever, doesn't matter. It's the best words, because that's what the Lord's saying to us. So think about that. But think about what else you could have come up with and let us know. All right, hang around. We're going to go and look at 12 to 30. I'll see you there.